How's it going then? You doing all right?
Yeah, really good. Excited, because
Yeah.
with it, it's going to be a big week.
Yeah. And it must be like a really weird thing, but yeah, like I say, really exciting to actually be releasing a movie after like the last year and a half. Like,
It's pretty mad. Yeah, I mean, we've been sitting. It was meant to come out originally a year ago, so it's like, yeah, we've been sitting on it for a while, and it's like finally, yeah, people get to see it.
I mean, it must have been kind of. Was it weird for you, kind of? I guess March last year, because when you shot this, that must have been pretty much the last time you could possibly have gone to Japan before everything shut down.
Yeah, I mean, we were in that sense, we were really lucky. So like everything we needed to film, apart from like one pickup day, we finished shooting in 2019 now. So we were in the middle of the edit when the lockdown happened, which meant that yeah, it was kind of, I guess, the best place to be. Like if you're gonna have a lockdown and a worldwide pandemic, then I guess that's the best the best part of the process to be in.
Gosh. Yes, yeah. Finally, like,
God.
doing what you can to find the right side somewhere, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it was a bit like, okay, yeah, so we finally made a film, and then all the cinemas in the world shut down. Yeah.
hopefully it's not. Hopefully that's like just correlation and not causation. It's hopefully not like, yeah.
Yeah. Pure corruption. Wait, no, that's not.
Has that put you off maybe doing another one then? Because I feel like, yeah, there's maybe a story in how Steve's gets home, but it's like, is it worth the risk?
Yeah. I'm choosing not to. I'm going to go with they're unconnected. So then, if the opportunity does arise, like it's not going to be a moral concern.
Probably for the best, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, kind of like taking it right back to the very beginning, I guess. Like, where did the idea for the movie come from? Like, I'm guessing it, like, you know, a chance for a trip to Tokyo is presumably nice, but I'm guessing it wasn't just that.
Yeah. No, that was all it was. Yeah, we just no. We were basically we all thought doing a movie would be like a really interesting, and obviously who doesn't want to make a movie, but it was kind of like, well, if we're going to do it, we've got to do it for the right reasons. Like it's got to be because it's a story that we want to tell, it's a movie we want to make, not just because we want to make a movie or like you say because we want to go on holiday. So it was we got together in a writer's room and just all threw around some ideas, and I think it was John Petrie actually who first suggested Japan, and we were like chatting about other stuff, and then we'd come back to Japan, and then like we'd chat about a different idea, and then every single time we just constantly came back to this idea of like, well, actually Japan just kept being the funniest thing that we could imagine. And then yeah, we watched some stuff like LTJ Bookham out there, or like Wu-Tang Clan out in Japan, and it was like, okay, yeah, we can, there's a really funny way to do Japan. So like the guys out there is going to be funny. Yeah.
And how did it compare to doing the show? Like, was it quite a similar process from your point of view, or did it kind of, I mean, obviously different because you're not in Brentford, but it's kind of, yeah, did it differ in other ways as well?
Yeah, like I think from my perspective, it's like, how do we step it up cinematically? So it's like, if it's the show works really well as a TV show, but if it's going to become a cinematic experience, an experience worthy of the cinema, then it's like, okay, well, how do we step that up visually in a way that doesn't get in the way of the soul of the show? So it's like, it's all about, it still wants to feel captured in the moment, like mockumentary style. Like these were all things that we were like really certain about. And in a way, like if you feel me as a director at work, then I've like failed. Like it just wants to feel like it isn't directed, like we're just following them around. And yeah, so finding like the right way to step that up was something that like I spent a lot of time thinking about. And yeah, and hopefully I think we did it. And Japan helps a lot with that, I will be honest, because everywhere you go around in Japan, it's like, yeah, you're like, okay, that looks like a movie, and that looks like, I could definitely, I want to film there, I want to film there. The problem was not having enough stuff, like enough to film there in a way, rather than like not enough places. Like it was, yeah, it was a joy to film in there.
I mean, you do get the impression watching it that it was a lot of fun to make. I mean, do you find that people are just cracking up shooting and ruining takes, or do you not really have that problem because you've been? I guess everyone's so used to these characters now.
It's still a problem. Like we have such a good laugh making it. It's always a problem. And sometimes it's like it's genuine. Like you're sat there, and like the funniest thing will happen, and then it's like, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh, and then you're like, oh, phew, we can use that. Or like it's like we end up cutting right up until someone starts laughing, and then you're like, okay, yeah, nope, we've still got it. Like, or we just go again for another 5 takes or something. Like it's a lot. It's a massively fun process to make. Yeah. And because we do impro, it's different every time. So it's like you don't quite know what's. Yeah, we throw in lots of random bits each time, so it's a little bit different.
I mean, like I guess everyone's kind of everyone presumably just like slips into their characters now, like in no time. But also the improvisation's got to come. Like everyone knows what their character would do in any situation, so presumably improvising just must come so naturally. That's got to be like really, I guess, like rewarding, like from a creative point of view, like knowing that no take's going to be the same as any other take.
It's so rewarding. It's like what usually happens is we start off with a really strong script as well because Steve and like great writers. So we start off with like a really good foundation, and then like just as we go through it, like we'll do a lot of takes. So it's not like we use this is the first take and everyone's just done something like in that one moment. It's like usually we'll do like 9, 12 takes each scene and then just layer it up. So like layer up the improv step by step. And then once you get to like sort of take 6, it's just chaotic and it's messy and everyone's just chatting over each other and none of it is making any sense. And then you step in and you go, okay, right, shut up here. Like that's really funny. And then like you start to make sense of it and like hone it down again. So it becomes something that's like, feels like captured magic. Yeah.
I mean,
But it's jokes.
and do you find that they kind of end up staying in character for longer than you'd like them to? Like, do the characters kind of stick around when you finish shooting? Or
I'm thankful to say no. No, like Seeper, who plays Grinder, is like not in any way a dickhead. So he's like an absolutely lovely person. So it's like, and like they're all lovely. And like Steve isn't actually a complete messy, like wiggy mess drug addict. Like he's actually like he's surprisingly sensible. So it's like, so like thankfully, yeah, that doesn't. I was worried about like when I saw them on YouTube for the first time because I didn't do the YouTube stuff. I was watching it thinking, God, is this going to be a night? How much of these guys are characters? This is going to be a nightmare, maybe. And yeah, luckily they're absolutely lovely. It's like a family unit now, so it's like it's a joy.
like you'd be in big trouble if Steve decided he was going to try and method it, wouldn't you? Like,
yeah, that's genuinely because he does it so convincingly. I thought, is he actually on drugs during some of this? And no, not at all. It turns out.
I guess, yeah, kind of taking it back to kind of the beginning, like to my first question in a way, like as far as releasing it actually in the cinema goes, like what are you hoping that people are going to take away from it? Like if people are going in, I guess not really knowing what to expect, what do you hope that experience is going to be like for folks watching it?
I hope they. I hope people have a really good laugh watching it. Like that's, I think the main aim is like it's. I hope it's a really fun. I hope people have a really funny experience and just laugh a lot as they watch it, and that it takes these characters somewhere where you don't really expect to see them. Like so, for people who've seen the show, it takes them to a whole new place, but they're still them. Like so, it's like it's hopefully they'll laugh a lot at that. And then for people who haven't seen the show, I think you've got a bunch of delusional idiots on who you really love and want to make it. So hopefully that's a good laugh, I'd say.
And like, do you have any ideas for what you could do next? Where the characters, where the characters could all go from here, or is that kind of all up in the air at the moment?
Up in the air, like they. I mean, the characters exist in so many different worlds, already. So there's been like the TV show and film. They've got their gigs, social media. Like, who knows? I wouldn't have predicted that we'd end up in Japan. Like, if you'd asked me like 5, 6 years ago or whatever, be like, yeah, Japan, of course. Like, obviously, like it's the natural next step. So who knows what's next? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna try and box it in this time. Yeah, space, the moon. Like, yeah.
Oh God, that's like Armageddon, but with
Yeah. Who wouldn't want them to save the world?
I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
so much could go wrong. It's like,
Oh,
oh, cool.
yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers. Yeah, yeah. And yeah,
Lovely to meet you.
nice to meet you. Yeah,
So much.
yeah.